Welcome, Wargamers. Finally, we have another Warmachine, well, Warmahordes battle report. I'm Dan, as always, and this is, doesn't even matter. So I'm just gonna be, no, introduce yourself.
I'm Steve. Thanks.
Oh, hi,
Thanks,
Steve.
man.
No problem. Steve here is a fellow Skorne player. Although you really haven't seen me play much Skorne, I promise I will after Warmachine weekend. Really focus on them. But you've also started playing Cygnar.
I just started painting. I'm not that bad just yet.
Not bad. Anyways, 50 points. We're gonna play Incursion with the 3 flags. I'm gonna bring my, I don't know if it's, anyways, my pStrker list. It only lost once, and that was because I played it really silly and some really bad luck. I'm not bragging. It's just it's done very well in the past. Who are you bringing?
I'm gonna bring Zaal in the Kovass.
It's a good time. So luckily we're here. There's not too many people here, not too loud. So that's good. Enjoy the show. Okay, so 50 points of Skorne led by Zaal and his little Kovass. Now the Kovass does not jump out until later. We also got Optimus Marketh. Then we have the Extoller Soul Ward. We got Tiberian, Mullet Karn, and the Gladiator. Just nasty beasts. I'll figure out something to do with it. The full unit of Paingiver Beast Handlers, just because he had an extra point. We got the Tyrant Commander in Standard. Full unit of Annihilators, Hakar the Destroyer, and an Agonizer. And there's your 50 points of Skorne. Now I got pStrker. Again, this is my list that I won many battles with a Squire, Stormwall, Lancer in his battle group. Then we have the Black 13th. Moving on, we have there's a Lost Sword Knight there. He's pacing the wrong way, but full unit of Sword Knights. Then we have the Storm Strider. And last but not least, the MVPs of lots of games, the full unit of Blazers. So that was my 50 points. So we kind of set up the Skorne player, Steve. He got to go first, and we were just playing Incursion where the flag disappears. We were a little scrapped on terrain, so we just kind of put some big hills, and because I'm mostly shooting, that might give an advantage, but that's okay. I'm totally okay with that. And so here we go. Oh, and he was very insistent on beginning with a handshake. That is how much of an upstanding gentleman he is. So Skorne turn 1 with Annihilators. Steve likes to measure in little bits here and there. Either way, the Annihilators spread out, run up. They're quite annoying because they have tough. The Tyrant Commander ran because, again, he's very slow, but he'll be able to give things like Pathfinders, stand people up after a turn of toughs, things like that. The Gladiator gives Rush to Tiberian and then tramples forward up onto the hill there. Then Tiberian is able to run, and again, instead of having the speed 4, speed 5 allows him to run 10, just get him up a little bit faster. And he's right on the edge of that hill. We turned him around, I think. That's how we made it. Zaal walks forward just to get on the hill, barely, fills up the Agonizer with Fury, and then casts Awakened Spirit on Mullet Karn. Now, Awakened Spirit allows you to Beast to cast his Animus for free once per turn. And so that can be very useful, especially Mullet Karn particularly. You can cast his Animus and then Fate Walker back. And be able to boost fully and wail into something. Everyone else just kind of runs in around behind, but Optimus Marketh, actually, he can cast a spell, and so he casts Inviolable Resolve that just gives a bit more armor to the Annihilators, help against all my millions of POW 10s, needing 7s to kill instead of 5s, which is actually really huge. So the Sword Knights, they all run up, get into the way. Cygnar turn 1. Basic stuff here. I allocated 1 focus to the Lancer and 1 to the Stormwall. I was going to run with the Stormwall, decided instead, I always run with them, let's see if I can actually do something. Putting up a Storm Pod. Again, anything to get in the way of these beasts, any kind of roadblocks that can add up, maybe that'll help me. Because those beasts, if they start ripping into my Stormwall, it's definitely dead. And so I'm going to have to try to outmaneuver and delay with my Sword Knights as much as possible. Then I cast Arcane Shield and Snipe onto the Blazers. Black 13th run up to the side, same thing with the Storm Strider, nothing's in range yet. The great thing about the Blazers is that they're speed 9, and then they're range 14 with Snipe. And so they start shooting at Annihilators, and I think needing like 4s or 5s to hit. Anyways, I do hits, and with Electroleaps, nothing happened actually on the first one, it sucked. But, got a tough roll, another tough roll, and one Annihilator goes down, and Hakar grabs the soul. Now, one thing cool about Zaal is that no matter where you are, in your control, if in his control range, if someone dies, he gets to direct where the soul goes. And so whether it's to Hakar, or they stole their soul word, or Aptimus Marketh, they can all hold souls, and so he can divvy them up how they want as people die, and they can use all those souls. And so it's a well thought out list. And then on his feet turn, he can also go. So as you can see, these guys, I need a 6 to hit, rolled that 5, and so I do hammer out into the Annihilators pretty good. And then I'm getting feeling sassy, and so I advance forward with my light cavalry move instead of advancing backwards. And the middle flag goes away. So end of turn 1, again, some knockdown Annihilator, a lot of them are dead. But yeah, again, calm before the storm. I love battlefields when they look like this, so good. Skorne turn 2. Alright, this is where the magic happens. Maybe. I forgot about Hakar's Righteous Vengeance, where he gets to make a full advance, 4 inches. Not huge, but still, 4 inches. He's a lot closer to me than I thought he was, and I'm regretting putting the Blazers up so far forward. So he upkeeps and his spells and everything with Aptimus Marketh, which is amazing. So Zaal has more stuff. And then the Annihilators get up and run. The ones that are knocked down, again, only can get up and advance their normal speed. But getting up in my face, being annoying. And Extoller Sorrel then gives him Ghost Sight. Basically, he can see through the forest now. And so the forest is not an issue, except that it'll slow him down so he can't move. But then, the Tyrant Commander goes up, and I thought it was only units. But he gives Pathfinder to Hakar as well. So now he can see through the forest and is not slowed down by it. So now, that's just bad news bears. Aptimus Marketh goes up, and then he switches Inviolable Resolve from the Annihilators over to Tiberian, so now he's at armor 23. Very tough nut to crack. I'm not going to have fun killing him at all. Zaal then walks up, gets on fully on the hill there, and spends 1 to allocate a soul. He can do that and give souls out to all the big stone dudes. Anyways, Tiberian charges forward. He was enraged, and so he is able to hit and absolutely massacre that poor Sword Knight. Then the Mullet Karn, he also, I think he charges because he had enrage as well on him. So he misses, but with Future Sight he can boost afterwards and manages to slaughter him. He advances forward, automatically hits, and well, he has sidestep, and then casts Fate Walker on himself because of Awakened Spirit. It's free, so no more extra fury needed. So now Hakar declares his charge, goes forward, is easily in range of one of my guys, but luckily is out of range of my other guys. And so he misses with his first attack, hits with his second, and is able to kill him without using any of his souls. And the souls also give armor to Hakar, so it makes him a lot harder. So I was hoping he'd use 1 or 2 souls to kill my guy, but not the case. Agonizer pops, no allocation, no arc nodes. Basically just arc nodes to keep my my Lancer at bay. And so we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, and then Mullet Karn Fate Walkers, instead of to the flag to gain points, it goes back to the hill to get the defense bonus, which, well, we'll see if that was the correct decision or not. The Lancer advances forward. I want to be within 4 inches of the flag, but I don't want to be within 8 inches of the Agonizer, because that's how much fury he has. And turns out I'm like 7.999 inches, like it was just so very, very close. But I do cast that Earthquake, I do miss, reroll from the Squire, still miss, but I only go back 1 inch, which is actually better. I hit another Annihilator, and so I knock a lot of them down. I feat, and then the fun begins again. So I've kept Snipe on the main Arcane Shield, because I want to be able to shoot from a safe distance, and so I'm barely in range of the Agonizer, and using Brutal Damage, rolling terribly, not doing any damage. It's dice -6, and I was hoping to kill him with 2 shots. Instead, it's going to take 3, maybe 4. And yes, the third one takes him out. So I still have 2 more shots, but again, I could have had a lot more. And so I start shooting at the Annihilators. Obviously, the knockdown one's a lot easier, and I only need 5s to kill now, so that's good. Tough roll failed. Again, the more Annihilators I can get off the board, the better. Because they usually get up and then they get last standed. Which, of those of you who do not know what that does, well, you'll find out later in this battle report. Stormwall walks up again, He didn't have any focus on him, but he just drops a storm pod, hits one of the annihilators, who does make his tough, but he's knocked down, and dropping covering fire to cover annihilators in Tiberian. Probably not going to do anything, but you never know. And so I shoot my little guns, and with his armor 23, I do absolutely nothing. But then I shoot my cannon at the other annihilator. So yeah, that's a good tough check. And he's done. So 3 Sword Knights charge into Tiberian. Luckily I have Penetrating Strike or Precision Strike. Anyways, instead of rolling for a damage roll, they can just do 1 damage to War Beasts or War Jacks. So I do that. So I just roll to hit 3 times. Because it's dice minus 12, and even if I'm charging, it's just worth it to do the guaranteed 3 damage. And so I actually missed with one of my attacks. I only needed 5 to hit. There we are. So then I move up my Storm Strider, trying to be careful not to just give him away, but I shoot at the glider. I needed 9s to hit, and I did get it. It actually rolled pretty well. Did some damage to the one there, about 7 damage, I think. And then I bounced twice and killed 2 of the Paingiver. So that was awesome. And then I missed with my second attack. My Black 13th really can't do anything again. It's still hard to hit Malachkarn up on, so I just run forward and try to distract. So end of turn 2, as you can see, we're all kind of stuck in here. I'm really not sure what I'm doing at this point from my perspective. The Black 13th kind of maybe occupy Malachkarn, try to keep my Storm Strider alive, and I think I got the left side of the board if I just play it right. I did feat, so I should be able to weather a lot of damage. Akar getting his free little movement there. Zaal getting his Fury, and then upkeeping 2 spells with the souls off of Marketh. The Tyrant Standard, Commander and Standard, they move forward. He touches the flag, and so if he's able to clear it, then he will get point. And then Marketh moving up and casting Last Stand on the Annihilators. Last Stand is, at the end of the turn they're dead, but during that turn they have boosted attack and damage rolls. So they go out with a boom. A bang. It's pretty awesome. I love that spell. It's so hilarious. So he feats as well. And so basically if you're in his control range, then anybody who is dead, any kind of model that is friendly faction model, I think, that is dead, you can remove it from your dead pile, and you can either boost the hit or boost damage. You can boost with it. And that's pretty awesome. So Annihilators get a charge order, and so a couple get on the Lancer, and the rest are on the Sword Knights, just kind of where they were. Again, my covering fire was a good idea, but they're last standing anyways, so they're going to die. So they start hitting my Lancer, and I have high defense, luckily, but he does still hit, and no damage to the Lancer, which was super surprising. But easily killing the Sword Knights, and then berserking into the more Sword Knights. Again, everything being boosted. Even over the wall, it's not too bad. He boosts into himself and kills himself. Actually, he can make it tough. And again, none of this really matters because they're going to be gone at the end of the turn, but it's still fun to do. And so he kills my Storm Pod, and then berserking goes into my Sword Knight and kills him as well. Pretty standard stuff. So Hakar walks up with his 3, and he's just in range of the feat, and so he can also boost off of the dead pile, like I was saying. So that's happening. He gets 1 big hit on him. That's great. And so using another couple to boost. And again, all this boosting is just normally stuff that would be a bit harder to hit or a bit harder to damage. Luckily, no damage on that hit. That was super lucky. He decides not to boost on this one because I am actually semi-easy to hit with his high mat. And 1 last damage roll, and done. So he's out of souls, so he's only armor 18, so that's great. But he still did some, one more attack and damage on the Lancer, and is able to take out its Cortex. And so his right arm's gone, and his Cortex is gone. So I still got my Arc Node, but I don't think I'll be using it just because if I take a free strike from the car, it's pretty much bad news bears for me. So Malachkarn charges forward and does manage to hit even with a 3, because Pobrecito little Storm Strider has defense 10, and so he does a combo strike, which is huge and basically almost kills in 1 hit. I do push him back 1 inch, but again with sidestep, 2 inches back in, easily within range. And so my natural defense system fails me, and so he hits again, and boosting damage from off the board without having to put any fury on him. I was able to... No, he doesn't finish off. I have 1 box left on the Storm Strider. Mwahaha. But even with him pushed back an inch, he's still just within range to be able to attack. And the last hit does finish him off. And so that would have been nice to have two focus on him, or two power tokens on him, but alas, is not doing it. Now, Steve kind of surprises me. He walks back and takes 3 free strikes from the Sword Knights. And so I take him. And I thought about rolling damage, but nah. Just roll the 3 columns. And I only had 3s to hit at that point. And so another 3 damage to Iberian. So Sword Knights, even with armor 23, 5 damage. That's pretty good. And so boosting, he actually manages to miss. But then he buys an attack. Yeah, he starts buying attacks against the Sword Knights, and he keeps missing or keeps hitting my armor exactly, which is bonkers. Because I do still have Arcane Shield on them. But finally, he manages to kill one, and he's like, "Yeah, that's it. I'm calling quits." And then Fate Walkering back with Malakar. And so all the Annihilators are now dead. They're gone. And so even though they did a lot of damage, I think it was better for me that they were last standard. Alright, stay with me, guys. This is the longest turn of the game. Anyways, okay, so Striker allocates a couple focus to the Storm Wall, or 3 focus. And then the Sword Knights jump back up on Tiberian, because why not? One jumps into Malakar. Hang on. Just try and chip away. What else are they going to do? And so they do another 3 damage, all to the 6. Ooh, triple 6. I wish I could roll that in damage sometime. Maybe I should have just rolled for damage. Anyways, I miss Malakar. So moving on, Alright, so this is where the riskiness happens. So I take a big risk here. So Hakar's down to armor 18, and that's going to attack with my horses at POW 10s, and then my brutal damage. I need 5s to hit with the horses, and 3s to hit with my guns. And so no damage with the first horse, but do damage with the second gun. Well, I guess that was first gun. But anyways, keep on attacking here, and for some reason I thought the 3 missed there, and so I didn't roll damage. We went back and fixed it later, but basically what happens is I bring them down to 1 health by the time I attack with my last attack, which does turn him into the Kovas, so it kills him, so it goes into Kovas. Then I attack the Tyrant Commander. Or no, I didn't turn him into Kovas, but then I rolled for damage and then managed to. But I'm not sure. Basically, if I would have done things properly, I would have definitely done damage to the Kovas. I'm not sure if I would have been able to kill it, which would have been a huge thing, because the Kovas can Thresher, and all those juicy blazers right there. It's kind of hard to tell. Anyways, Kovas is alive, and it's there. So Stormwall, he's kind of a little wussy there. He does not want to go anywhere near those Scorn Bees, because they can destroy him, especially if he decides to last stand one of them, which is an equal trade. Easily. Anyway, so I start shooting at his guys, trying to kill the Tyrant Commander as well. Shooting with my little miniguns, and then with my big cannons. And I do manage to, with the last one, boosting the hit. I do manage to hit, and it's only dice -1, and so I easily killed the Tyrant Commander, which is good. But again, another soul. Again, so even like every single time I kill something, it buffs his army in another way. And so it's a really tough army to get through. Really enjoyable to play against. It's a good challenge. So the Black 13th now finally running around for a couple turns. I think we're in range to maybe do something. So that's great. So I start shooting at the Pangiver using Black Penny, and up on the hill I do manage to hit though, and so he dies. And then Ryan trying to use so you can choose whatever he goes, where the souls go, and then he misses shooting the guy up on the hill. Then I think it was Lynch freed up, shoots across, and then anyways, we kill some Painkillers. And I do believe they're fearless, or I'm not sure if we forgot the roll. They're there. Okay, end of turn 3. So the Kovas is surrounded, but he likes to be surrounded. Tyrant is gone, but the standard's still there. Only 1 Pangiver left. But oh yeah, there's the command check right there, and they made it. And so, again, I'm not sure what will happen. No one's claimed any points yet. And so it's with those big 3 heavy. They're so scary. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So Skorne turn 4. So reaving all that fury, he does leave 1 on Moloch Karn, so he has to take a threshold check, and he fails, which is a huge bonus to me. He absolutely slaughters that Sword Knight, but that's fine because then he can't kill the Black 13th, which is just great. And so advancing up with the the Extoller Solar. He casts, what did he do? I think, did he cast Last Stand? Can he do that? No, that Optimus Marcus. Oh, he was just trying to shoot, I think, and boosting, just to try to do some extra damage. That's what was happening. Optimus Marcus comes up, casts Last Stand in place of Zaal, and so the Kovas is going to die, but boosted attacks and damage on all of my poor Blazers and my Lancer. Well, that's going to be huge because the Lancers are really fantastic late game. They can get around, start pelting the caster, and boosted POW 10s against Zaal. Well, he will just die very, very fast. And at Rat 7. So anyways, this is super good for the Skorne player. And so he does manage to kill all of them without too much effort, unfortunately for me. And takes a chunk out of the Lancer as well. I think this is this right now. And he has souls on him, so he boosts it. And because it's just an additional die. And bring him down to 1 box. So he's best barely alive, but again, he has souls on him. And so he can buy an attack and everything is boosted. Or additional die, sorry. So he can boost even further and absolutely slaughters my poor Lancer. Blech. It's okay, he wasn't really alive. Well, that's debatable whether the Cortex does. Anyways. The entire commander, the standard barrack charge, he needs a 9 to hit, rolls like an 11, and slaughters my poor Lancer. That was very sad. Astos Marcus then, Zaal gets all ballsy, and he walks up and he uses his Fury to boost attacks into at Fury 7, only needing 8s to hit, boosting. And the Black 13th, well, they don't have very much armor, and so he takes out 2 of them. I barely make my command check, and then he runs forward to engage with his Beast Handler. So he again takes 3 more free strikes from my Sword Knights. I'm not sure if he's just mocking me at this point, or I think he's just kind of like ignoring them, that they even exist, just getting him into position, just kind of like him and the Stormwall are just kind of like eyeing each other. Like, I'm pretty sure I can't even kill him with the Stormwall if I charge in. I might be able to. And armor 23, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure he did let his upkeeps drop at this point. Anyway, but then the Gladiator walks in, and with 3 initial attacks, boosting the hit on each one, he does manage to wipe those guys out. So no more little free jabs of damage, and then he riles to fill him up. And so the Zaal's gone. The Kovas is gone. Cygnar turn 4. So this is me in desperate mode. Give 2 to the Stormwall. I have a plan here. It's not a very good plan, but it's the only plan that I can conceive of. So unfortunately there's rough terrain there, so I can't move as far as I want to. Basically, the Squire moves up, and then I cast Snipe on the Stormwall with pStrker, and then he charges forward. Just barely getting through that rough terrain. Successfully doing the charge. Now before making the charge attack, I cast Earthquake at Zaal. Now, I don't know the odds are, but I need to roll a 1 for direction, and then a 5 or 6 for distance to hit him. So there's my desperate face, and that's a 2 for direction. So I'm going off to the side. It made the distance, though, and so I was relatively close. I don't even know. It was a shot in the dark. Basically, if Zaal had been fall down, then he'd be defense like 7 or 5. Instead of defense 17, and so I need 7s to hit. Luckily with or 15. No, it was defense 17 on the hill, 15 for Ryan because she walked up, did a good amount of damage the first one, but missed the second one, and now Stormwall needs 11s to hit. My goodness. So shooting at him, he drops a little storm pod, but only double ones for damage. Only 1 shot from the one cannon. 2 shots from the other, and so the Metal Storms, again, needing 11s to hit, might as well try. Again, if he was knocked down, I can almost guarantee that Zaal would have been dead, but at this point, I'm boosting the hit with my cannons even, boosting the hit with the second one, nesting, and so here we are with a Skorne victory. I can see. I give up. Well, Skorne is victorious. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. You know, Zaal gets work done.
It was that turned into a crazy attrition game.
It was
Like,
it was a slogger.
We're just running back and forth around. My Black 13th have like never run for a turn, but I was like, what else are they gonna do?
I think they were in for 2. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, they got around, flanked, killed the support, which is nice, and got a hit off on Zaal as well.
Yeah.
So that was great. But the last Hail Mary, for those of you who weren't paying 100% attention, what I was trying to do with the Earthquake was, it was worse because of the rough terrain I had to charge through from the leftover Lancer. But basically, I needed a 5 or a 6 on distance and a 1 on. It was about a 13% chance. If the rough terrain wasn't there, it would have added up to maybe a 20% chance, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I don't know. You math whizzes can figure it out. Comment below. But it was basically that, and if I knocked him down, the Snipe, Stormwall, and Ryan should have been able to kill him without too much issue with only 1 transfer. But otherwise, just calculated. He had 3 heavies, all workable. I might have been able to kill 1 or 2, but then the third one would have killed me, and Striker wouldn't have been able to survive against the last one, basically.
Yeah,
So,
Zaal was defense 17 on a hill, so
yeah, I needed hard 11s. Wasn't going to happen. But I had a lot of fun with it. The list was stronger than I thought against Skorne. Normally I probably wouldn't bring against Skorne. But it was a very nasty Zaal list. Those tough Annihilators just wouldn't die. But good game.
Yep.
It was always a pleasure. So thanks for subscribing and watching these videos if you want more. And of course, I wanted Skorne for you guys because people are always clamoring about wanting to see Skorne. So this is Dan.
and Steve.
See you later.
Peace.